back this week with a topic that I definitely touched upon in the past, but under different capacities. It may be different approaches, but we're going to bring back that topic today and kind of get into a little bit more detail about that. Initially, we were going to talk about websites again, and a couple of details about that business owners should be aware of. But I decided to call the audible, and we're going to talk about the process of niching down, and that's a term or phrase that you might have heard of before. And what is that concept? What is that concept? When you hear that concept that you should niche down, and what does that mean? So we talk about a lot in previous lives and different reels about really honing in on the target audience and how important that is. And you want to be very specific with your brand messaging so it relates to the target audience. That's important, right? So now relate that to that term, niching down. It means that you want to be very specific with your target audience. You may not cater to everybody, and that's okay. In many ways, we don't cater to everybody. It's just the way it is. We're not your budget shop that's going to, bang out, $50 business cards. That's not who we are, right? And that's okay. You determine who your audience is, and you own it, and you go after that audience. But when a company makes the decision to niche down, you are now being very specific, and you also are being more focused onto who your target audience is, and you're speaking directly to them. And your brand messaging, your offers is all directed towards that audience, and you embrace it, you own it, and you go right into that direction with no hesitation. So you're being very specific. You're doing things on purpose. And by going that route, you're gonna find yourself having more success because you have a purpose behind what you're doing. You're not speaking to all, where your messaging or your services are gonna get lost because the majority of that audience may never use you, may never need you, okay? So what you're saying is never gonna resonate with the majority of people. So when you are looking for a specific audience to do business with, you have to niche down. You have to cater to that audience. So that's what that concept is all about, and it makes sense and it works. And it's something that's very real with the way a company would go ahead and put together their brand messaging and also their marketing campaign, because they know exactly who they want to be their ideal customer. So you're going to speak to them because what you're saying needs to relate to them at the end of the day, and it needs to resonate. So that's really the art of niching down, and it's not people are afraid, I guess, sometimes too, because they feel like, well, if we go into one direction, are we leaving money on the table, or are we shortchanging ourselves in a way? And you got to think, though, you can't cater to everyone. You really can't. You have to really make a decision as to really who you want to do business with, and you want to go ahead and own that. Take ownership of that, and you want to go ahead and cater your messaging to those people. So don't be afraid to identify who your real target is and speak directly to them. That's really important. What's up, Caroline? So we want to you want to practice that a bit in the type of business that you may have. Some businesses, they do have a wider range of an audience, and they might not be taking advantage of some of these specific campaigns that I would speak about or recommend. But for the majority of businesses who have a specific service, even a specific product, you know who your target is. You know who would be your ideal clientele. So you want to identify that. You want to niche down. You want to speak directly to them so that it resonates, it makes sense, and then be known as that person. So that's that's really the gist behind it all when it comes to something like that. I know we spoke about this in the past a bit when it comes to really identifying who you want to do business with and who your real target is, so that you know how to craft the brand messaging. Because right there it's like 75% of the battle. When you make that, you want to call it determination, when you discover that this is the audience. Okay, so how are we going to speak to them now so it relates and it resonates? And then when that is established, then it's okay, now we move to the other side of like, all right, well, where are they? How can we reach them? Where are they hanging out? So now we can go ahead and we can go find them, and then we can put our brand and our messaging in front of their faces. And that's what's really important. So, we spoke about this before, and it's it's something that is extremely important when companies are looking to make moves, and definitely move the needle in the business. Sky, you had a question, Sky? So important topic. It's if you got a question, just type it. I thought you had one, but it's extremely important in any sort of marketing strategy, for sure. Why am I not seeing it, Sky? I'm not seeing it, buddy. Go ahead and type it here. It really is extremely important in any strategy. I think when you're working with any sort of marketing agency, if that is not if that is not part of the process in the early stages, that should be a red flag. It should be a concern. You want to definitely establish that early on. What's up, Caroline? So that is, that was pretty much the real, topic really for today. This one was not going to be, so long or elaborate, but it is really understanding the process of niching down and why it would be effective for your business. Really being direct, being speak with purpose, being really specific, to that target and accepting it. At the end of the day, just to say, hey, this is who I want to do business with, and just own that. That's really, really important. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be selective and speak directly to that target. That's extremely important. So that term, we hear it here and there. We hear it. Like I said, I spoke about it. I remember I was looking at something from I think it was over a year ago or something, and it was we were talking about niching down. This guy said, really to what I'm saying, have a wide range of services like providing trained VAs for specific tasks, and then email marketing. Every client opens up another range of services. How can I niche down, in your opinion? So I think one of the first things that kind of screams out to me, because you mentioned you provide trained VAs. What if you specialize that and you have trained VAs in a specific industry? Now, you can start off with one industry, two industries, let's say, for an example. But if you're going to market those VAs, because I see that a lot. I see a lot of ads. I get solicited a lot. I get random messages, or I see some ads come up on social. But they're very generic. You got these VAs and they're listing 12 bullet points. And it's like, how can you really know all of this? So it almost then makes me question a little bit, right? You're not, you ever heard of the phrase, jack of all trades, but master of none? It's a good phrase. Jack of all trades, but a master of none. Which means, yeah, I know all of these things, but I'm not a true master. I'm not an expert in any of them, but I can help you. I know this. So what if you have these VAs that are really strong in one specific area, or two specific areas, and then you identify the industries that really, really can use them, really can work them into their operation. They're very needed. And now you're speaking directly to that audience, those decision makers, and all of your brand messaging is related to that industry. And you say it within the messaging, with the offer, that these VAs, let's say it's accounting or something, you're basing all your brand messaging to accounting agencies and firms, accountants, and you're being specific with what the skill set is on those VAs that would relate and make sense to an accountant, right? So I think that's one of the things that kind of stands out to me, especially when you talk about VAs and having specific tasks. Hone the messaging to that specific audience, and don't market them as if they're, a superstar of all of these different skill sets. Because let me tell you, I've worked with them too. And some are better than others. And, most have a good understanding of kind of an overview. But are they true experts in one specific area, And if they are, then own that and then market the shit out of that to that industry. That's really the best way to put it, So just own that. So I think that's one thing, Sky, is kind of go in that direction. Because I've seen it, like I said, and I just don't buy it. Like what I see with current marketing, VAs, they sound like a unicorn. They have, oh yeah, I work at all different industries, different skill sets, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? It's almost like the dog. The dog gif that comes up, the meme with the side eye? It's almost like that when I see something like that. I'm like, it's too good to be true. So go ahead and niche down, Sky. Hone, pick your best VAs, what the skill sets may be that would be the best in specific industries, and go after that industry. and you know what to do. Email marketing, you'll curate the list with decision makers on LinkedIn. You scrape your lists, go after those people. You know exactly what to do then at that point. But all of the messaging, subject line, body, is speaking directly to that industry. Then it's going to make sense as a business owner in that industry. It's going to make sense. You're going to say, you know what, yeah, I do need help. You know, let me see what this is all about. So hopefully, you know, that helped you out a little bit. I think we're good for today on the whole topic here of niching down, being specific, So I appreciate you guys joining today. Be back next week, same time. Pick a new topic. Hope everybody it's crazy, has a great rest of the week. It's crazy how this is it would be the last live for August. And that's about it for the summer, which is wild, really wild. So see you guys in September. And stay well.